troops at the end of every meeting. We say it at the end of a court of honor. We have 3 court of honors a year. That's when they get the awards that they have gotten. And today's speech started as a Scoutmaster Minute. My brother troop is led by the Scoutmaster Paul Schwer, who some of you know from Tullahoma politics, but Paul gets choked up every time he gives a Scoutmaster Minute, and we kind of make fun of him. So when it was my turn, I got choked up. So if I get choked up today, because this started as a Scoutmaster Minute, if I get choked up today, I'm sorry. I will work my way through it. Basically today I'm going to tell you 2 stories. First, an abbreviated version of my own experiences in scouting with my children, and then the story of Sydney, Ireland, who is arguably the first girl to earn Eagle Scout. First thing you need to know is I grew up in a scouting family. My father was a Life Scout as a youth, that's the rank right below Eagle. My mother was a Den mother, and I was a Girl Scout. All 3 of my brothers were Boy Scouts, and my father was a volunteer with my brother's troop. One of my brothers made Eagle, and the other 2 Life. My father is now 88 and has just stopped volunteering with that troop. 2 of my brothers are Scoutmasters for their son's troop. The 3rd was a Cub Scout adult partner for his girlfriend's son. Of my 4 nephews, 2 are Eagle Scouts, and the other 2 are working on it. My oldest child, Meadow, is an Eagle Scout. Note that Meadow is a transgender woman, and when she was in Boy Scouts, she identified as a boy, so she wasn't the first girl Eagle Scout. I wanted Meadow to be a Scout because it had been such a big part of my family growing up. So at the earliest opportunity, when she was in 1st grade in 2009, I sent her and her father to the Roundup meeting to join the Tullahoma Cub Scout Pack 142 as a Tiger. Cub Scouts now begins with Lions, who are kindergartners, but at the time, 1st graders were the first rank. When they came home, they said the Cub Master had told the group of Tigers that their den would not form until one of them became the den leader. They said the pressure was so much that they volunteered me for the lead. I led that den from Tigers in the 1st grade until they earned their Arrow of Light in 5th grade. Over the years, over 20 boys belonged to the den, and at one time or another, 5 remained that last year, earned Arrow of Light, and crossed over into 3 of the Tullahoma Boy Scout troops that existed at the time. Now, right now, there's only 1. Meadow crossed over into Troop 158, chartered by the First United Methodist Church. After Cub Scouts, I had planned on stopping being a leader. My own father told me that women did not belong in Boy Scouts, and I was a bit burnt out. Troop 158 had other plans. They had poor parental involvement, and there was only 1 leader, the treasurer, available to go on outings, and outings required 2 deep leadership. Not even the Scoutmaster went. This was only one of the many issues that troop had, which I won't get into today, aside from saying that everything I learned about being a Scoutmaster, I learned by not doing what Meadow's Scoutmaster did. Anyway, they asked me to be an assistant Scoutmaster, and I wanted to make sure Meadow's troop could go on outings, so I agreed and served as an assistant Scoutmaster from 2014 until 2022, when Meadow became an Eagle Scout. As Meadow was in her 1st year of Boy Scouts in 2013, my younger daughter, Molly, entered kindergarten and wanted to join Girl Scouts. There was a troop in Tullahoma run by the wife of a Boy Scout leader friend named Connie, and her troop did everything the Boy Scouts did. Scout skills, badge work, community service, youth leadership, and an outdoor program. You have to do these things in Boy Scouts in order to progress in rank, but they are not required in Girl Scouts USA. So if that's what you want, you have to find a troop and leadership that offers that. Our story in GSUSA is a long one, and I won't get into it today. We did our best from 2013 to February 2019, when the Boy Scouts started allowing girls to join in their own separate troops. 3 families approached me to start a Scouts BSA troop for girls. Scouts BSA is what they started calling it instead of Boy Scouts. All of these families had sons in the BSA, and they all had daughters with similar Girl Scout experiences as Molly and I. Cub Scouts is a family program which encourages little sisters to join in activities. They were called tag-along scouts. They earn no awards. All of the girls from the original 4 families had been tag-alongs. They knew the opportunities in BSA and wanted the same program as their brothers. Somehow, I got talked into being the Scoutmaster. We held our first meeting on May 21st in 2029, so we're about to be, 7? With 4 scouts. Word got out quickly, however, and we grew. Today we have 19 scouts, and then as of last night, I got another girl to join, so I have 20. And over the years, 46 girls have been members. Meadow made Eagle in 2021, right when her troop became defunct. So for 2 years, I was a leader in both troops. I was able to focus solely on the girls' troop beginning in 2021. This is a picture of Elaine Pratt, one of the founders, on August 13th, 2019, the night she completed the very first rank, which is called Scout. She was our first to make rank. And since we were the only troop for girls in the 5-county district, and we still are, she was the first girl in the district to earn a Scouts BSA rank. And I'll pass around this picture of Emmeline. She's putting her name underneath the Scout rank insignia. And at the time we were so young, we didn't have our own rank board. So she's hanging her name with the boys. Caitlin Brown, another founder, was Troop 1581's first Eagle Scout and the first female Eagle Scout in our district, completing her board of review on April 5th, 2022. And here's Caitlin, and again, we didn't, oh yes, now we have our own rank board, so just the girls are hanging on it. The BSA first recognized an inaugural class of about 1,000 girl Eagle Scouts on February 8th, 2021, but some had completed the rank as early as October 1st, 2020. They allowed us to join February 1st, 2019, so the very first date that you would be able to sit your board of rank, because some of the ranks have time requirements, was October 1st, 2020. So that was the earliest possible date after girls were allowed to join. It takes 20 months minimum to earn Eagle. This takes us to our second story. Sydney, Ireland, from Troop 414 in Manhattan, was one of the girls who passed their Eagle Board review on October 1st in 2020. She had actually unofficially participated in her brother's Cub Scout pack and Boy Scout troop since she was 4 years old. Beginning when she was 12, she worked to get girls accepted into the BSA. Sydney launched a petition on change.org, tell the Boy Scouts to end discrimination against young women. As far back as November 29, 2015, it is the first evidence of her effort. She used the social media hashtag #ScoutHerIn to raise awareness of her campaign. She garnered heavy media attention starting in 2016. She met enormous opposition online. She was even cyberbullied by a BSA leader, an adult to a child, so severely that after receiving support from Sydney's congressman, the BSA revoked his leadership. All this time, she worked towards Eagle, even serving as senior patrol leader in her brother's troop. She would have had to have been elected SPL by the boys in that troop, so that goes to show just how welcome she was. The BSA publicly announced that it would begin allowing girls to join its programs in October 2017. And then in 2018, the Cub Scouts allow girls, and then in 2019, the Boy Scouts or Scouts BSA. Sydney and her father met with BSA Scout executive Michael Serbaugh in February of 2018. He encouraged her to continue earning badges and working towards Eagle Scout, saying that she could be the first female Eagle Scout. She finished all requirements for 6 ranks, including a minimum of 21 merit badges, some required, others electives, culminating with an Eagle project for her 7th rank, Connect a Vet with a Pet, on Veterans Day 2018, about 3 months before girls were allowed to join. Around the same time, Sydney again met with Serbaugh, Jim Turley, then BSA president, and National Commissioner Ellie Morrison. But in contrast to her earlier meeting, this time she was told her earlier work would not count because she had not been an official scout at the time. Many young scouts would have quit at that point, but Sydney persevered. She helped found Troop 414 for girls in February of 2019. She had to redo all her requirements. She did every requirement, every rank, every merit badge a second time, and actually completed a second Eagle project. There is no record, and Sydney is on LinkedIn, and I tried to reach out to her, but she didn't answer me. There is no record if the second project was identical to the first or a whole new project, but it is likely that the first project was significantly redone because it had been disqualified. While Sydney can't be called the first female Eagle Scout because we don't know how many girls met their boards of review on October 1st, 2020, she was certainly a pioneer and catalyst for girls' inclusion in the BSA. Her efforts contributed directly to the policy change and opened the path for thousands of girls like Caitlin, whose picture went around, and Troop 1581's other 4 Eagle Scouts. On Scout Sunday in February 2012, the UU service here was led by me and 3 UU Scouts. This is the program from that day. I would like to use the benediction we used that day to close my talk. Lord Baden-Powell, who was the founder of Scouting in England, said the most worthwhile thing is to try to put happiness in the lives of others. So may that which came to me as seed go to the next as blossom, and that which came to me as blossom go on as fruit. At the end of our meetings, because we meet with our brother troop, we have totally separate meetings, but we're in the same space. But we all get together in a circle at the end of the meeting, and the boys and girls say together, and now may the great Scoutmaster of all true scouts be with us till we meet again. May we run the race at a good scout's pace on the trail that leads to him. Who's the best troop? We are!